thank you for having the time to be with us and share with us the vision of empowering women who are suffering the stigma of infertility through access to information, health, and change of mindset. Together we can create a culture shift that breaks the stigma around infertility, infertile women, and infertile couple. We can be the storyteller, the change maker factor that can break this taboo, makes people speak up about their challenge and find solutions. There is very important information that women and men lack, and that's why they suffer this stigma and the community put pressure on them. First of all, we have to all know and we have to put in our work, either TV, radio, or articles in media, print or online, that fertility is not a stigma, it's a condition, can be prevented and can be managed. That women are more than just mothers and men are more than just fathers. If women and men cannot have children for any reason, they're still human beings, and they're still valuable member in community. They still can add a lot of benefit to their society. Why we degrade them, their humanity, and break their soul? This is not correct and not fair for any religion or any right and wrong concept. So we have to, who else will tell people about this? It's the media. Media can enter any house, can address all people with all local language, with different cultures, and can educate them and sensitize them that it is not correct to treat your people or human beings for something they have no control over. It's not their fault. So we have to take this mission close to our heart and be all ambassadors for this cause. Let us empower them. Let us give them their dignity, their soul, to restore their broken soul, because it is too much to already suffer, not being able to bring a happy family, and also to suffer the community, putting the pressure and the criticism and discrimination and all kind of violence on them. Of course, this pressure creates also domestic violence, either psychological or, like we said, we've seen with Jacqueline's story. I can assure you there is too many Jacquelines in Africa and in communities which lack this education because they think they have no value. They are a burden on them. But this is not true, because women are not baby-making machines, first. Women are more than this. Even if you have a child or children, you're still more than a mother, you're still a member that can add value more than bringing children to the world. You can bring a lot of other benefits to the world. We have a lot of women here that have critical jobs that can benefit people in many, many aspects. And I think all women here are more than mothers. So this one thing. Second thing, infertility is a very high incidence in Africa. And you will know that from the scientific presentation. It is almost 1 every 4 couples in Africa are infertile, which is almost 25% of the people at the reproductive age, compared to 6% in Europe. Can you imagine 25% to 6%, where is this difference came from? All this difference can be prevented because it's due to untreated infectious diseases. And when we talk about infectious diseases, we don't want to blame anyone. It's not about only STDs or unsafe abortion or unsafe delivery. No, it can be a simple infection, can cause of normal hygiene when during childhood, or due to, for example, lack of immunity when you have flu or influenza. You know, the microflora in the body change and can cause this infection, which is not, most of times has no symptoms, and it's silent. And when you have it when you are, since you are a child, either a man or a woman by the way, It creep up to the reproductive health, reproductive system, and can cause, slashes of the tubes and the ovaries on the long run. And that's why it is very critical to always observe, raise awareness about this for all people to observe their bodies, any changes happen, and always regular checkup, and of course, safe practices of everything. So awareness is very, very, very critical. And who will raise this awareness in our communities, if not the media? So all of you can really play a role to prevent a very important, which is 85% of infertility cases in Africa can be prevented, and you can be a factor to do that. So, third thing is, most of the times women are the only one who been blamed to be infertility, because men don't get infertility. This is wrong conception, because 50% of infertility causes are due to male factor. Okay, this is a scientific information, and it is by all the kind of research. So infertility affects men and women equally. When this information reach everywhere, every house, in the rural areas, in the villages, in the deep, deep heart of Africa, what will happen? Men will stop blaming their wives. The sister-in-laws and mothers-in-laws will stop blaming the wife. This pressure and the cultural pressure will stop, because everyone will know that it's a shared responsibility. It's not me or you, it's both of us together. So what will happen? You can encourage men and husbands to support their wives, join their journey in the hospitals of treatment, and be like a support and a respect and source of respect and love, whether they can have children or not. And of course, if the media start to normalize this issue, it will be like any other issue, like diabetes, like hypertension, like flu, like influenza. It will never be something that, because you read it every day. You know how you normalize HIV, and now it's not a big stigma like it was before. And this all was a rule for the media. Thanks for the media for breaking the stigma of HIV, and we want to thank you to break the stigma of infertility in the near future. I want to tell you what Merck Foundation will also do in addition to raising this community and raise awareness about it through the training of the media. We provided the training for media in almost 10 countries at the moment, and there is a combined training for 17 countries we have done last year, and we will continue doing that in partnership with Ministries of Information and First Lady's office in different countries. And I would like to thank today Her Excellency, the First Lady of Malawi, for making this possible, and thank you all for coming here, and I think it will be a great thing. After you finish the training, we are going to launch very important things with the Media Recognition Award. There will be an award for Merck Foundation for the best coverage, TV, radio, online, and print. And the deadline will be 31st of, I think, December. And we are going to choose the winners, and the winners will have awards, and you will read about it today, and you will know about it today. So you can see how you will tell your stories, how you will dig in 7 layers under the problem and come up with solution, come up with sensitization, changing perception, and year after year, this will change. The culture shift will be created, and very significantly. We also going to launch the Merck More Than a Mother Fashion Award. Yesterday, it was a very successful launch, and we've seen a fantastic fashion shows being organized by Her Excellency, the First Lady of Malawi, and very talented fashion designers. And we want to take this forward to all the fashion designers in Malawi and in Africa to be able to be the voice of the voiceless, and to be able to insert the messages of breaking the stigma in their designs, so it can be inserted and included in the day-to-day natural settings of people. in the villages, in the communities, in the work, at the club, everywhere. So we had already give guidelines how the designs will be, and we will also select the winners, and we will have fashion show at the end of the award, and we will recognize different fashion designers from across Africa. And I think also media will be part of this because they can cover that as well. And this also will be a method to open a dialogue, make people speak up, ask questions, you know, and start to know that this problem, it is not a life-ending problem like they think it is. It is not even a problem. And we will also launch the Film Award. I've seen there is a big talents in Africa. I am also from Egypt, so I'm African woman as well. I know that we have this art part of our life. Even if I'm a pharmacist, I like fashion, I like art, I like songs, I like music, and all of you, whatever our domain and main specialty is, art is part of our life. Not like other continents, I assure you this. So filmmaking award, it will be a great thing to create also films, documentary or drama to sensitize the community and address the stigma and empowering women, empowering men. I also, mostly you can see that I am a little bit focusing on women because majority of communities blame only women for infertility. So I know men also will be empowered as more than fathers, but always it is more percentage of women are suffering, especially if we talk about villages and rural areas, are suffering from the stigma more than men. But of course, if there is also ideas to empower men and sensitize the community about his issues, will be also considered in the award. We have yesterday launched a very nice story. You will find in your folder Lumbini story, which is a story of for children in schools. It's a cartoon story. It emphasizes the values of family values of love and respect since young age, telling a story of a husband and a wife who love each other, but they didn't have children for 2 years and more. And of course, neighbors and friends trying to go to the husband and tell him, what do you want with this woman? Divorce her. She's nothing. She's not worthy your time. You can marry a more beautiful woman to bring you kids. And he said, no, I love my wife. I respect her. I will take her to the hospital to treat her. So he took her to the hospital, knowing that for sure the reason is her. So the doctor surprised him and said, no, it is not her, it's you, the problem. We can make a small little intervention and you will be able to have children. He said, really? It can be me? I never know that a man can be infertile before. The wife said, really, it's my husband? No way, it's me, I'm sure it's me. No, he said, no, it's your husband. The husband went to the hospital, get the treatment, they have a family, and they say to each other, we don't care, even if you didn't have children, you are more than a mother for me. And he said to her, even if you don't have children, Jane, you are more than a father for me. So even if they didn't have children, they will love each other, but because they acknowledge the fact that he can be infertile, they can have a beautiful family. And this is the contrary to what happened to Jacqueline's story. Because Jacqueline, her husband was the infertile. The doctor told him, you have the problem. He refused to acknowledge. He refused to go to the doctor to get treated. And at the end, he was very aggressive. He went for drinking, sleeping with other women, and coming back to beat her up every night until the night he chopped her both hands. Although he is the one with the infertility and not her. But now, after the incidents, and we supported her, she decided to have a child for her own. Now she's a mother. She doesn't want to have anything with men anymore, unfortunately, because they're a bit complex. So she wants only to have a child for her own, to be a mother, and that's it. So you see how much you can do together? There is a lot of stories. For 100 years, you can write stories only about this, and it will never stop and will never end, and you will change people's lives. It's a big material well, and you can dig in it as much as you can. So I call on you to be our long-term partners. We will, after finish here, we'll have a WhatsApp group with all of you, and we'll be in connection with you all the time for the next 5 years maybe. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you.